Hello students. So students, in the previous class, in this chapter, life process, we were talking about the respiration, how respiration used to take place in case of a plant. So, if we see about the respiration in case of the plant, we have seen that basically the process of the respiration in the plants, the respiration process occur individually. And this is how it differs from that of the animals. In case of the animals, if we talk about the respiration process, that will occur as a single unit. But in case of a plant, individually each part of the plant used to perform the process of respiration here. Now, if we talk about how respiration process occur in case of the roots of the plants, so basically the roots here are there which goes deep inside, they get spread properly, and we know that a plant can grow, the plant can survive only when the soil is porous. Okay, so if soil is porous, what does that mean? It means it consisting of air in it, or the spaces are filled with oxygen. Now the root hairs, they used to absorb the oxygen from that of the pores of the soil, from that of the space of the soil, and this oxygen is used by the root hair and they used to perform the process of photosynthesis from it. Okay, so process of photosynthesis happens with the help of the oxygen present in the soil. Now, the carbon dioxide which is formed in the root cell, due to the process of respiration, they will come to the root hair and they will also get, diffuses out. So, the oxygen gets in and the carbon dioxide get removed. So, this is how the process of the respiration used to take place in case of the plants or in case of the roots of the plant. If we talk about that how the respiration process occur in the stem of the plant, so process of the respiration in the case of a stem, that depends upon the type of a stem. Like what? Like if we are talking about the herbaceous plant, so the stem of the herbaceous plants are green in color, and if it is green in color, it is having that minute pore structure that is called as the stomata. So it is with the help of the stomata, the oxygen used to enter into the stem where the process of the respiration happens, and then the carbon dioxide is formed. This carbon dioxide get removed outside. Okay. What happens if the stem of the plant is very woody or having a hard covering of that of the bark? So at that time we will say that at some places of this hard and woody stem, there are some of the cells are there which are loosely packed, and that particular portion of the bark of the tree is called as lenticels. So it is the lenticels in which the exchange of the gases take place. It means the gases can be expelled out or the gases can diffuse inside. Then how the process of the respiration happen in case of the leaves. So we all are very well aware of that stomata are present on the surface of the leaves, and that will help in the process of the respiration. Now stomata is also responsible for taking in carbon dioxide and removing oxygen through the process of photosynthesis. Also, it is the stomata only which also allows the oxygen to enter and carbon dioxide to expel out during the process of respiration. So this is how the process of the respiration used to take place. Now let us see the another topic, and that is respiration in animals. How respiration process occurs in case of animals. So there are different animals, and each animals used to perform the different kind of a respiration process. Like what? Like if we talk about a simple unicellular organism, simple unicellular unicellular animals like amoeba, respiration process takes place by diffusion. Respiration takes place by diffusion, by the process that is called as diffusion. So here the respiration process takes place by the diffusion. Okay, simple diffusion. How? Diffusion of gases through the cell membrane. Through the cell membrane. Okay. Now the second one is, that is, animals like earthworm is there. Animals like earthworm which live in the soil, used to take oxygen from the soil itself so they show respiration process through its skin. So they show the process of respiration through skin. Moving on, and we will see some other organism like that of the insect, grasshoppers, how they used to show the process of respiration. So they are having small holes on their body which we call as tentacles. Actually, there are spiracles. We call them as spiracles, which help in taking in the oxygen, and finally the process of the respiration will be performed. So we can say here that there are some of the insects which used to, so insects like grasshoppers are there, students. Housefly, mosquitoes are there, consisting of tiny holes called spiracles. Tiny holes called spiracles. Okay, so with the help of which they used to show the process of respiration. Now, if we talk about the aquatic animals like that of the fishes are there. So fishes, they used to perform the process of respiration with the help of the gills. So fishes show the respiration through gills. They used to show the process of respiration through gills. Then moving on, and finally we will see the respiratory organ of the terrestrial animals. So terrestrial animals, they used to especially if we talk about the mammals, they used to respire through lungs. Okay, so terrestrial animals, they used to respire through lungs. So this is how the process of the respiration occur in case of the different animals. Now the one thing that we have to understand before we go and understand the process of respiration occur in amoeba and in other animals, that all the respiratory organ, they are having the large surface area, and the reason for having the large surface area so that they get the sufficient amount of or enough amount of oxygen. Okay, as well as the respiratory organs, they are having very thin walled structure or thin walled. Basically, they are very thin walled that will help in the diffusion of the oxygen and that of the carbon dioxide to each of the cell. While if we talk about the animals here, like those are the higher animals, they are having a blood transport system that will help in supply of the oxygen with the help of the blood itself. Moving on, and we will see here that how respiration occur in amoeba. We have already discussed about the process of a digestion or nutrition in that of the amoeba. Now let us see that how the process of the respiration occur in case of amoeba. So we know that amoeba is what? It is a single-celled animal. It means it is a unicellular organism. Okay, so it depends upon simple diffusion by gases, diffusion of the gases through the cell membrane. Okay, so it depends on the simple diffusion of gases for breathing. So basically, what are the things which happens here? So amoeba is what? It is a single cell organism. So it is present in the, you know that it is present in mainly in the water. So it used to take the water, it used to take the oxygen which is dissolved in the water. So when the oxygen containing water or oxygen dissolved water is there in that of the amoeba, so through the process of the diffusion, the oxygen enters into that of the amoeba. Now, being a very small size of a kind of animal, so the diffusion, there is no kind of a blood system is required because the body itself is a very small. So the oxygen gets simply diffused, it gets rapidly diffused into that of the amoeba's body, and there the process of the respiration happens, due to which it gets amount of energy. Again, the carbon dioxide released, it will comes outside through the process of the diffusion here. Okay, so we can write here that the exchange of gases takes place through cell membrane. The exchange of gases takes place through cell membrane. Okay. Now it lives in the water, so the oxygen from the water diffuses into the body of amoeba. It diffuses into the body of amoeba. Now, since amoeba is small in size, since amoeba is small in size, so the oxygen spread quickly. quickly into the whole body of amoeba. In the whole body. Okay, it gets spread quickly in the whole body. Now, the process of the respiration occurs in the cell. Occurs in the cell and result of the process of respiration the result of the process of keeps on producing carbon dioxide. It keeps on producing the gas which is called as carbon dioxide gas. Now, this carbon dioxide gas also diffuses out through the cell membrane. Diffuses out from the cell membrane. Okay, from that of the cell membrane. So basically it is a small in size, and when the oxygen which is present in the water reaches to the body of the amoeba, then through the cell membrane, through the process of the diffusion, this oxygen will enter into the body. Here, because of a small size, the process of the respiration takes fast, and finally due to that carbon dioxide is produced, and this carbon dioxide will also diffuses out with the help of the cell membrane. Okay. So this is how the respiration occurs in amoeba. Now here we have seen that in case of the amoeba, the process of the respiration occurs through the process of diffusion. Now the question arises that is this process of the diffusion is applicable or is good for the other higher organisms also? No. It is because of the small size, it was very easy for showing the process of a diffusion in case of a amoeba. But it is insufficient since the higher animals, they are having large size body. So the volume, the need of the energy, need of the oxygen is also very high. So because of a higher volume, the process of the diffusion is not good for that. So we can write it here that diffusion is insufficient to meet oxygen requirements of large multicellular organisms, because like humans, because the volume of the human body is so big, that oxygen cannot diffuse, cannot diffuse into all the cells, of the body, quickly. So basically the process of the diffusion is there, which is insufficient to meet the oxygen requirement, and it means because of the large size it is not possible that we can use the process of a diffusion in order to make the oxygen to reach to each and every part of the cells. So because of the higher volume, it is not possible that oxygen will reach through the process of the diffusion, which we can see in case of the amoeba. Here, in case of that of the human being, there are a system. A circulatory system is there, a blood system is there, which used to carry the oxygen to different parts of the body, different parts of the cells of the body. Okay, so this is all about that of how the process of the respiration can take place in case of the amoeba. Now moving on, and we will see that we know that the earthworm used to show the process of a respiration through its moist skin. So let us see that how the process of a respiration occur in case of the earthworm here. So respiration in earthworm. So the earthworm exchanged the gases through its skin. The earthworm exchanged the gases through its skin. Okay. Now, what does that mean? This means that respiratory surface of the earthworm, surface of the earthworm is its skin. Basically, its skin are what? It is thin, moist. Okay, and the skin of the earthworm is quite thin and moist. It is quite thin and moist. Also have good blood supply. Okay. So the earthworm used to absorb. Now here's what happened. This line is very, very important to understand. That is, the skin of the earthworm, it is what? It is thin and moist, and it is having the good blood supply. So basically, these skin becoming the moist. So when the oxygen is there in the atmosphere, this oxygen will enter into the skin, and when it comes in contact with the skin, already the skin is having the good blood supply. So the oxygen from the skin directly reaches to the blood of the body. Now through the blood, it will reaches to each and every part of the cells of the earthworm's body, and finally the process of the respiration starts taking place. Now here carbon dioxide is formed. So this carbon dioxide again comes in a contact with that of the blood supply, and this blood supply, you know that it is in a contact with the skin. So carbon dioxide reaches to the skin, and from that of the skin it will diffuses out. Okay, so we can say here that earthworm used to take oxygen through the skin, and then from the skin only it will reaches to that of the blood. Earthworm absorbs the oxygen needed for respiration through its moist skin. Now, we will see here. Now, the oxygen gets transported to the blood How? Because the blood supply is there at the skin itself. So it will reaches to the blood to all the cells of the body, so that process of respiration can takes place. The process of the respiration can takes place. Okay. So here what happened? The process of the respiration takes place from that of the skin, enter into the blood, and then from there to the cells of the body. Okay. Now again the carbon dioxide is produced through respiration reaches to the blood, from blood reaches close to the skin, moist skin, and finally from there it will get expelled out, and finally from there it will get expelled out. From there it will easily get expelled out. Okay, so we can say here that how the process of the respiration has taken place in the earthworm. Earthworm consisting of the moist skin. Through this moist skin, when the oxygen enters, so as the skin consisting of good blood supply, so from the skin this oxygen reaches to the blood. Now with the help of the blood it will reaches to each and every part of the cells of the body. Now here in the cell the process of the respiration takes place. We know that the process of the respiration produces carbon dioxide, which is a kind of a byproduct. So, or waste product. So, this carbon dioxide again enters into the blood. Through the blood, it will enter into the through the blood again it will enter into, comes close to that of the skin, and from there it will expelled out. Okay, so this is how the process of the respiration in earthworm takes place.